One of the highest rated geocaches in all of Utah is in the middle of nowhere. But fortunately, we're also in the middle of nowhere. Specifically, we just spent the night camping here near Fossil Mountain in the King Top Wilderness Study area. This is in the west desert of Utah, and I'll be honest, there is not a lot around. We haven't seen another human since midday yesterday, and we've been doing a lot of traveling. We just camped in this beautiful site here amongst a juniper grove. There's a little bit of remaining fire pit. Up next, we are going to go to the Waw Wa cache. It is a geocache hidden 26 years ago and is one of the earliest ones hidden in the state of Utah. And like I said, it's in the middle of absolute nowhere, so we're headed there right now. But first, I think we're going to try to find a geocache that is 8 years lonely, that's been sitting out in the middle of nowhere. The owner fortunately found it recently, so we have a really good chance of finding this thing and getting an 8-year lonely geocache. Wish me luck. Okay, I don't know how well you can see it, but see that sort of island in the middle of the playa all around? That is where we're going. The geocache is called Uncharted Desert Isle, and I think that is a very, very fitting name. It's way too expensive to use the Gilligan's Island theme, so just hum a 3-hour tour to yourself. So here we are. This is the edge of the playa. So this is at one point a lake bed that eventually all dried up because, you know, the desert. So you can see in the middle, that rock outcrop, that was an island in the middle of the lake. Now it's just an island in the middle of the desert lake bed, and that is where our cache is. I hope it's not all the way up at the top of that, because that is going to be an annoying hike once we get over there. But we'll worry about that when we're there. First, we have to go across. Now, just a word of warning. Playa like this can be especially dangerous to drive on, especially if it's rained recently or if it's in general moist. There can sometimes be a thin crust of dried material on the top that feels nice and sturdy if you walk on it, but if you drive a heavy vehicle on it, it can break through that crust and you will get absolutely stuck, even with the best four-wheel drive car you have, and you'll need to embarrassingly call someone to winch you out, probably if it's a local business, at a very, very high price. So, do this at your own risk. If you are driving onto salt flats or playa like this, make sure you know what you're doing, somebody knows where you are, you have a backup plan, and all of that. People have definitely driven out here. I don't see any ruts, so that's a good sign. It just looks so dry and arid. Thankfully for us, but unfortunately for you, we made it across the playa without any trouble at all. We pulled up on shore about a mile from where we entered the playa. Okay, we've reached the edge of the playa, where it gets a little more rocky and sturdy. And up here is where we've got to go to get our cache. Of course, it is at the highest point of the island. We've got some hiking to do. So you can see where the playa ends, sort of the gravel starts, and then the island just goes way up there. It's looking a little more steep now that I'm standing at the bottom of this.
We can do it.
You heard it here, folks. Let's go. Very rocky terrain. Let's make sure we're going toward the right spot. So it's at the highest point. I don't know if that's over there or over here. Let's see. Looks like it's straight ahead, so it's up that way.
Okay.
Let's do it. We're only 300 feet from the cache. That's a steep 300 feet, though.
I was wondering if, like, you ever did any of those hikes in the Adirondacks, the ones that are, like, straight up?
Yeah.
Why did they make them like that again?
Because they didn't know any better back in the early 1800s when they were doing it. Okay. You know, the quickest way to get between 2 points is a straight line, so that's how they made the trails. And then they learned that is a bad way to design trails. And they've slowly been redoing some of them. Poca Moonshine Mountain, one of my favorites in the Adirondacks, has 2 different trails. The original one goes kind of straight up and is pretty strenuous. Then there's a newer one that winds and is a little bit longer, but easier. This is the sort of terrain we're dealing with here. It's just rocks. Rocks and a few bushes going straight up. I think we're almost there, though.
I hope so.
We'll see. Somewhere up there is the cache.
It's a shame that this isn't visited more. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, it is. And look at that. The problem is, this cache is so rarely visited, there's not really a geo trail going up here. So I think I mentioned this. The last found it log was from 2018. That is 8 years ago. It has since been found, the owner checked in and performed maintenance 2 years ago. And there's been nothing since. So our odds of finding a lonely cache, pretty good, I hope.
This way?
Yeah, I think. Let's go up this way, around this big rock thing. Yeah.
This would have been a fun spot for one.
Yeah. Almost looks like a bird nest was there.
Yeah.
Huh. So this will be, if I find it, the loneliest cache I've ever found when it comes to date since last found. My current record, I think, is 6 years.
Where was the 6-year one?
That was one of the ones we found. Click up there if you want to see the video. It was one of the ones that we found while searching for lonely caches near Salt Lake City.
Right.
Okay. I think we're nearing the highest point. Really, really cool view from up here. And you can see behind me here. It's just flat salt. It goes on and on and on. But that's not what we're here for. We're here for a geocache. Oh, this still says we're 75 feet from it. This is where we need to go. Which, yeah, I guess that's the highest point. Oh my God, look at that view. The other thing that you can't appreciate, probably because I've been talking nonstop, is how quiet it is up here. There is not even the sound of wind. It is just so silent. So these things, you'll notice there are some things dug around here. This was an attempt to collect water in the basin here. 2 people have tried to do it. One was a cattle rancher in the early 1900s, wanted to collect some water for his animals. And then the Civilian Conservation Corps also dug some reservoirs in the area to try to collect some water. Don't know if we can see those from here. I'm not sure if these are the rancher guy or the CCC. Sorry, this isn't a info channel. This is a entertainment channel, so deal with it.
There's little like flowers growing in the bluff here.
Oh yeah. Look at those. I think we're like right on top of it. So let's actually read and figure out what it is that we're looking for. Uncharted desert isle. If you sit right back and you hear my tale, you'll miss out on an eventful trip. Blah, 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 blah. Hint, near the highest point at the center of the island, what would you use to hide something on a rocky isle? Probably a rock.
Yeah, I was saying more rocks.
Well, there's no shortage of those. And again, to be clear, I'm coming up here very optimistic that we can find it, but it hasn't been seen in 2 years. There's nobody here. I doubt this gets many visitors, but somebody could have come up here and done something. Yeah, I see things like this, and I'm like, oh, is there stuff hidden there? No. No, it's not. This kind of looks promising, just a bunch of rocks piled up. Oh, I found it. Oh, yes, that is well hidden. Behind a very large, immovable rock, actually. There it is. Ooh, on some very sharp rocks. An ammo can hidden in the rocks. Well, this is some rough lighting. Well, you'll have to deal with it, sorry. So, geocache. Geocache. 8 years lonely, allegedly. Let's see. Again, I always wonder, has somebody like signed it in person and forgot to log it because there's no service anywhere near here, so they had to go home first and they just skipped over this one accidentally? I don't know. Okay. Ugh. This smells like it hasn't been opened in 2 years. Uncharted desert isle geocache with logbook and pen and pencil. You'd hate to come all the way up here and forget one of those. Quite a bit of swag. This is like a classic geocache. We have a little address book, a golden book, The Little Mermaid, Flounder and the Rescue. No, it's actually Flounder to the Rescue. I just was trying to read it without actually looking at it. An emergency blanket, one of those reflective ones. That's a bolt and screw and drill bit size measurer. A picture of the space shuttle. Oh, I could use this. A tripod, a little collapsible one that unfolds like that. One of those bracelets made out of silicone. Be safe in Utah, buckle up, little keychain flashlight. A pocket screwdriver. That is a wonderfully stocked geocache. But now on to the exciting part. Let's see what's in that logbook. So yeah, we got all this information. Congratulations, you found it intentionally or not. The Utah Association of Geocachers composition book. There we go. That's what the owner wrote in here when he replaced it. 8 years since this cache has been found. That's pretty cool. What'd you find over here?
A fossil.
What kind?
There's quite a few. I don't know. Like, look.
Oh, yeah.
And then, let's see. It looks like there's maybe a few more kind of around here, right?
Yeah.
And then another one. There's a good one right here. See these two?
Oh, yeah.
I wonder how many we've just walked by.
Walked on.
Yeah.
Okay, that was fun. And now it's time to go get an even older geocache, one hidden 26 years ago. It gets found a little more often, but I think it'll also be a great one. Oh, and for the record, this area is called the Toole Valley Hardpan. So I suppose this would be Toole Valley Island? I don't know. If it doesn't have a name yet, I'll declare it GeoTrek Island. Don't worry, I've got you on camera if you do fall.
Okay. You could be like, disaster strikes.
Yeah, the thumbnail is just you like flailing up in the air, one leg up.
You'd have to be doing one of those classic YouTuber, like the scream, like.
Yep. We made it back down and across the playa, but surprisingly, the most interesting thing came on the road after. Well, we're on our way to the Waw Wa Stash, and there seems to be something blocking the road. They're not in a rush to help us.
There's a sheepdog on white. It's white, so it blends in.
Oh yeah, there's a sheepdog over there. We might be sitting here for a minute.
This is a huge herd. Oh my gosh. If we go real slow, would they let us pass? I don't want to get run into by sheep. Excuse us, sheep.
They don't seem phased whatsoever. In fact, that one's walking more toward us now. All right, where's that sheepdog?
This one, they're a little bit nervous. They're like, eh.
Yeah. I think there is a small break happening here. Oh, yeah, here we go. Everyone has moved out of the way for us. Goodbye, sheep. They're all staring at us. It's kind of creepy. Open roads ahead. Waw Wa Valley. That's where we're going. It's a long, dusty road. Right off of another long, dusty road. In the back there, I believe that's Crystal Peak, that bright white one over there. Maybe we'll go to that some other day. Let me know down below if you'd be interested in seeing that. I will say, is that a geocache? Is that the remnants of a geocache? Yeah, there's the top of an old pill bottle. And an ammunition box. Not the nice big ammo box. We had a little plastic one, obviously, but, huh. Is that a logbook inside? It kind of looks like it might be. At least it was at one point. I don't have any service right now. What I will do is I will check online to see if there's any active cache here. I'll also see if there's any archived cache. Because that definitely looks like it was a geocache. That's where we came from. That goes back to the playa area that we were just at. Now we're off to Wawa. Okay, I actually did have service at the car, and there is a geocache here that I did not download, so I didn't have it in my offline caches. But yeah, it was last found about a year ago. And fortunately, I have some spare logbooks here, so I'll put one of those in, and there we go. I was not expecting to find one here. I really just pulled off to get a shot of the sign for the video. I'm glad I did. I didn't bring any spare pill bottles or preform tubes or anything like that, unfortunately, on this trip. But I do have some spare waterproof logbooks. Find yours at shopgeotrek.com if you want. I don't care if you don't. There we go. Unexpected geocache of the day. Nice. Yeah, get rid of this old moldy piece of paper for the best. We continued on to find the cache that we actually planned to find today. The road was desolate, but as we neared the canyon with Waw Wa Stash, The trees started increasing until eventually we found ourselves surrounded by the tallest, luscious forest we'd seen in days. Well, we have stopped here about 300 feet from the Waw Wa Stash in what I can only describe as a perfectly picturesque meadow. There is a brook running through here. There's green grass everywhere, trees covering the hills. I'm talking too much so you can't hear the birds chirping. There have been butterflies flying around, especially coming from the very, very arid West Desert we were just in. This just feels like Eden. It's amazing. Eden, as it turns out, has a bit of a drainage problem.
That's like all meadow grass over there. Excuse me, wetland grass.
Yeah. Oh, this is all wet right here.
Might be the best place.
To the right here.
Yeah.
Glad we have waterproof boots. Whoa.
Whoa. You really sunk in.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Good luck, Alyssa.
I don't want to do that.
Good luck. Nicely done. Just kind of wandering now. Let's see where the cache is leading us. Gotta keep going just a bit.
I wonder how high this gets.
I don't know. It's definitely eroded quite a bit. Yeah, Alyssa, I can see why somebody 26 years ago decided this would be a good place for this newfangled geo-stash thing.
Oh, for sure. It makes me wonder how they knew it.
Yeah.
Like, do they come here camping or hunting or something else?
I don't know. Well, we're here at this old thing. An old car. We are spinning. The cache is somewhere right around here.
What does it say? Like, what does the description say?
Description: altitude 7,500 feet. Look for a pile of rocks on the right side of a horizontal entrance into the earth. This area is full of human history from as far back as 100 years ago and more, as some buildings are still standing. We take too much for granted what these people did to get our economy going and the conditions they lived and worked, so take a minute when you find this stash and look around and be very careful of the bottomless shafts which dot the hillside. Yeah, I wasn't aware of those. The rock history dates back as far as the Jurassic era and is the only known ancient rock left in the Great Basin.
What?
Very large trees and huge tree trunks not normally found in Utah are everywhere. Good luck. It's a size regular. It was last found 5 days ago.
Really?
Yeah, before that we have to go back to last year. But yeah, somebody was here 5 days ago and found it.
So it said a pile of rocks, right?
Yeah, it said a pile of rocks on the right side of a horizontal entrance into the earth. Now I'm concerned about bottomless pits somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there's an old fence post here from the looks of it. Rusty old barbed wire. Just what every geocacher loves. Is it this little pile of rocks? Well, there it is. Classic pill bottle. I doubt that's what it originally was, but there we go. 26-year-old geocache. Yeah, it doesn't quite fit the description. There's no entrance to the ground around here. And this definitely isn't a size regular. It's barely a size small. This is borderline micro. Wonder if this was a throwdown? Don't know. In our pill bottle, we have a travel bug with some Chinese coins and a bottle cap attached to it. Oh, the bottle cap was not part of it. It's just a couple of Chinese coins. There's a bottle cap magnet, a path tag, Northern Colorado Wahoo. There we go. 2 separate logbooks in here, interestingly enough. Replacement logbook that I think the last founder just left in here. It has their name printed at the top. And then this one, Waw Wa Stash replacement with names going back to last year. So this one gets replaced quite often, it seems like. Well, let me get my name in here, and even though this container itself isn't 26 years old, this cache was hidden 26 years ago, and I can see why it stuck around. This is a fantastic, fantastic place to find a geocache. Thanks for coming with us.